Hello, everybody. My name is Ari, and you are listening to Bass Tunes on KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. Today, we have one review, and we might end up stretching it to two. Yes, we're going to be doing a new album review, which is a little bit different than what we normally do, because I like to go into things that I'm passionate about or whatever, and not normally, unless it's sort of something that I was interested in, cover the latest trending stuff. Because listen, all right, like there's other places for you to do that. This is KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. We talk about the stuff that the other stations don't, or play the stuff. I mean, I don't know about the talk shows. I talk about a lot of stuff that not everybody does, but hey, human stuff is pretty common, so what do you know? Anyways, this broadcast is going to primarily be a review of the new Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign album, Vultures. They're called Ye Dollar Sign now. The yen symbol and the $sign symbol is their name. But if you go on if you go on some streaming services, it's not that. It's called Kanye West and Ty Dolla $ign. It's actually Vultures 1, mind you. All right. Anyways, it's the debut album by this group, which is the name of the collaboration, and it was the first independent album released from West after the entire career on Rockefeller Records, which I believe was Jay-Z's little label. It was released February 2024 after several listening parties, which has been done before for his albums, to sort of debut it and have like a performance and whatever, and obviously, I mean, you know, to get ticket sales for concerts and whatever. But that was going on since, I think, December of 2023. Let me make sure. Listening parties. Let's see here. Looks like they're still doing more listening parties. Yeah, their second one. United Center listening party. Whatever. There's a lot of... Anyways, they're doing like previews and things like that, and a lot of like news publications wrote about it, and it's pretty interesting. There's a good one from the New York Times, which I thought was cool, but I have a subscription to the New York Times through the school, so that's why I have it. Anyways, we got to get into some quick background information, but yeah, this is the first album after the massive controversy that West got himself into by being very hateful. That's it. That you can't sanitize it. You can't clean it up. I'm not gonna get into too much detail because I don't really want to, but yikes. And you know, the man was never known for somebody who wasn't a controversial figure with what he said. A man with a large ego, great talent, and a scattered amount of mental stability, right? So this all comes together into the classic sort of stuff that people know the guy for. I mean, George Bush doesn't care about black people. Like, he said that. That was crazy. I think that was Katrina. Like, that on live television, unscripted. But things have changed. Things changed, I'd say, after the 2016 record, Life of Pablo, which is like the first one that was very scattershot. I think the guy had to go into the ER or hospital for things. And, you know, I'm not going to list the controversy. I'm not even going to get into detail on them because, listen, if you don't know any of this stuff, or if you don't know at least one of these things, you're living under a rock, right? And I'm here mostly to review the music, although I'm going to have to touch on it with regards to the latest controversy, not even controversy, just the horrendous stuff. Anyways, basically, you know, the mania or whatever, you know, he gets divorced from his wife 2019 or something along those lines. Don does like a sort of like a meditation on all that. He starts making Christian music, goes full spiritual, no cursing, no nothing, only about the man upstairs. And that leads to, of course, 2019's Jesus is King, which is probably still regarded as his worst record. I can't think of another one that anybody ever looks at and says, this is something's better than that. No, because it's short, it's scattershot, and it doesn't have enough substance. I mean, the one before that, the 2018 sort of self-titled whatever, that one was meant to be very short. Sounds scattershot, but I don't know, it felt a little more cohesive. This one, I mean, the biggest problem I feel like is a lot of artists, right, they make demos. And the demos are basically just sort of going, like sort of very sloppily recording vocals in order to get a feel for the beat and humming along to it. Not every artist does this, I'm sure, but at least he does. But it turns out like it it started feeling more and more like a slightly polished up demo, right? Where there's something here, but it hasn't been fleshed out enough. And that album sort of, was morphed out of what people considered potentially some of his best material in years, Yandi. And that one had a bunch of cool stuff on it, right? And everyone was like, oh, look at all the leaks. There's so many leaks and all the different leaks. And I heard some of them, and I think I have it. I had it saved on my phone or something. Some of that stuff was pretty good, And this one song has kept trying to come up since 2018, which is New Body. And, I'm not getting into the Vultures one yet. I'm not getting to that. But it's interesting because, that one was originally about, I guess, plastic surgery and, very, very, very not very, spiritual stuff. And then it changed, and then he's like, oh, I'm going to rework it into a Christian version of this song, right? And that never happened. And then he was like, hey, trying to clear the rights for this one because Nicki Minaj featured on the New Body song, in addition to Ty Dolla $ign, who is on Vultures. He wanted it on Vultures. And she's like, no, I'm not doing it. It was like 3 years ago. Move on. Like, that's in the past now. She's in, like, some controversy. She's in a little funny thing where she made a diss track on Megan Thee Stallion, and it was, like, very bad. Like, it was people hated it. And that's the same day that Tom McDonald and Ben Shapiro made a song together. So it was a very interesting time for bad music on the internet. Fact was the song with Tom McDonald. That was a absolutely awful song. I'm just gonna say that. It wasn't even funny. It wasn't even bad. It wasn't even good in a funny bad way. It was just bad. Anyways. So 2022, Kanye says a bunch of horrible things, and it just keeps getting worse. And nobody's able to bring him down. Everybody's trying to talk to him, and this has been the case for the past since 2017, 18. But this is the most egregious one, to the point where, the guy basically gets exiled, loses his contract, loses all of his sponsors, loses a lot of his wealth, and sort of just has to go into hiding for a bit, I guess. And finally gets banned off social media or whatever. Anyways, stops making music. This is after Donda 2 apparently comes out, which is absolutely... So, he in 2021, I think, or 2021, puts out an album called Donda. And this album was, again, teased and changed for so long, and so much stuff happened to it. But, at the end of the day, I thought it was pretty good, but just very, very bloated and long. I mean, there's three different songs. 3 of the songs at the end are literally just the same song earlier on the album, but called Part 2, because different features and things like that were on it. So Marilyn Manson was featured on, and DaBaby was featured on Jail, but then both of those individual artists had gotten into some pretty bad controversies and allegations of horrendous stuff. It's like going in hey, let me just pick you up. You have some allegations? Okay, let's put you on. We'll put you on the thing. Anyways, I liked it, but it was scattershot. So he's like, I'm going to make a sequel to it. And the sequel was released on a iPod Shuffle that you could upload stems to, and it looked kind of cool. The stem player. So you had to buy a $200 or $300 basically iPod with 8 gig of a worse iPod Shuffle, and only had 8 gigabytes of storage. But that's the only way you could listen to Donda 2, and it was versioned February 22nd, 2022, and that's what never came out. So it was basically just a bunch of demos. Some good ideas, but nothing of substance. I don't even count that as an album. But if I did, it'd be the worst thing he's ever done, because there's nothing good about it. The only 2 or 3 songs that are worth noting are ones that became singles. There's Keep It Burnin', but I never heard that one. Then I heard the full thing because it was on Future's latest album, I Never Liked You or something like that. I don't even remember what it's called. But that was a good song. But then you put the Donda 2 version, and he's going, he's just mealy mouth humming, slurring through, just trying to come up with a flow. And that's fine to do, but you don't put that out on a record. It's not innovative. It's lazy. Just take the time and put the record together. It used to be that this guy would just like hunker down in the studio and like, I need to mix the same song 75 times to get the right kick drum sound because it was that important, you know? But now it's just like, whatever, toss it all together. So, 2023, he's teasing new music, and they're saying there's going to be a super group, and then, it gets teased, and it's called, the single Vultures comes out, and the album art is like a sort of lineage of Burzum, who's like this, was it Norwegian? Burzum. Let's see. Yeah, Norwegian, like, black metal band, and who the guy, I guess Varg was in, like, just, like, pretty bad views, very controversial, went to prison, like, you know what I mean, just a reviled figure in music. But then people, like, reviewed the music, and I think people said it was, like, good or decent. So it was one of those interesting, like, separate the art from the artist things, which is just a whole topic with regards to Vultures 1. But anyways, like, and also, like, the symbols and the art are, like, obviously evoking that kind of stuff. Anti-Semitic stuff. Just like, ugh. Like, come on. Anyways, the cover art changes. It's not that anymore. It's a photo of his, like, new wife and Ty Dolla $ign, which is cool, I guess. I mean, it looks fine. Anyways. Here's my main thing with this record, okay? Let's actually just get into the review. Enough talk. The first thing is that it's pretty short, and I like that. All right, it's like how long was Donda? Let's see. And there's also a deluxe version. Can you even believe that they made a deluxe version? That's a good. Let's see here. So the original, this record was an hour and 48 minutes. Maybe cut down, maybe more like an hour, I don't know, 20 something if you cut down the last 4 tracks. But it's 27 tracks, 23 like like rehashes, like other versions. And the deluxe version is not a different thing. Wait, where is Life of the Party not even in here? Wait, hold on, I'm looking at this. Wait, 30, Never Abandon Your Family. Oh, Life of the Party got me on there. Anyways, Life of the Party, probably the best thing ever came out of that album. Anyways, let's see how long this is. Vultures 1. It's like 55 minutes or something like that, I believe. Yeah, 52 minutes. Okay. Oh, I forgot about this. I'll get to, you know what? Forget it. I'll get to the music, and I have to touch on these like 2 other controversies before actually getting into the music. I'm like, it's so funny because, like, it comes out like late Friday, like Saturday morning, basically. Isn't on my streaming platform that I use, so I have to wait a bit for it to come out. And I try to find it on like YouTube, and it's not really there. So it comes out, and I'm listening to it, and it's cool and all. And I'm like, okay, sure. I got enough to talk about here. I'll do a review of this week, on the show, which is a week after it comes out. It's one of the strange things about having a show on Friday. If I want to talk about new stuff, I'm always a week behind, which is good because it gives you a week to listen to it and think about it and see what other people have to say and sort of formulate your opinion. But also, in the world of in the world of reviews and all that, you don't wait a week. You wait until, give it a day or 2. I mean, a lot of people just do reviews on it right after it comes out. Like, this is the greatest thing ever. Then you have to sit with it and think about it. It's art. You have to let it sit. You have to let it marinate in your mind. But obviously, that's not going to happen when you do that. But here's the thing. Okay, the 2 things. One is that they just straight up deleted one of the songs I think it was called Good Don't Die, because I think it was using a Dawn to Summer sample. Re-recorded with maybe some different lyrics or something like that because they originally wanted to clear the sample. And there was other songs that were premiered at listening parties, like the song called Everybody that people were excited about. I think sampled the Beastie Boys. Or was it the Backstreet Boys? I don't even know. But they wouldn't clear it. The song Carnival was originally going to have a part of Ozzy Osbourne said War Pigs, but it was actually Iron Man. And, he put this post out basically saying, no, dude, you're anti-Semite. We're not doing that. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Good on him. But then honestly, the change, I heard the original version, and that had to get changed to, I think, another song from one of, like, Dark Fantasy or something like that. But I think it's better, to be honest with you. I think it fits better. But, and, other sample, a lot of people won't clear, and no big label will have him, so he had to find an independent distributor. And the original distributor, he went to them because I think what happened was they handled, like, distributing something. They were a, like, distributor, but you could also do it like DistroKid, where you can just upload your music. So what ended up happening was, he goes to them like, hey, listen, I want you to do this. I want you to put this music up. And they're like, no, we don't want to work with you. So then he's like, okay, well, I can just upload it as like I can just use your, like, paid service and just upload it like an average person does. And then they caught wind of that, and then they took it down. So it was totally gone on Apple Music, not on the other ones. It got changed, but, like, it could be the first album of all time to get undropped. Innovation. Anthony Fantano, this is the first album that he has given an unreviewable out of 10. And also potentially the first album to be undropped. So guess what? Innovation as always. Yeah, he's still the GOAT. Okay, back to the music, finally. The music of this thing is, like, the least interesting part of it because it's okay. Okay, I'll just say that. It's okay, but there's, like, nothing of substance here. And the number one thing that I've gathered upon listening to this record is, man, he is really trying to win people back over. He is really, 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 really trying. Like, 10 times more than he was when he was doing My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy in 2010 after the whole, I'm going to let you finish, but so many controversies. Why even bother? But it's obviously, like, it's not demos recorded with an iPhone mic and mixed horribly. Everything is finished. The mixing is all right. But, like, kind of blown out depending on it. It's a little distorted. It's a little, like, kind of, even not very compressed, but, like, it works. Those albums have never had good mixing, mind you. And, honestly, you don't really listen to hip hop and be like, the mixing. You don't. At least in my opinion, you really don't as much. But it's just not that much. And there's a lot of interesting styles here. It doesn't really feel super innovative. It kind of just feels like, not like a retreading on old ground, but just sort of trying to see what's the trend for today. And do that so people can listen to it and support it and, get that guy some money back because he's probably fine financially. But, oh no, I lost hundreds of millions of dollars, and what do I have left? Hundreds of millions. Like, stupid. But yeah, there's a lot of interesting things. Obviously, it's not just him, it's Ty Dolla $ign, and I'll say that Ty Dolla $ign does a great job. He always has them nice, beautiful, auto-tuned, buttery smooth vocals, and this is no exception. And they're sort of tag teaming on here is interesting, in addition with the features, because he sings and raps. And there's always and it kind of does feel like maybe like a bit of a musical retread of Donda, but, like, there's some interesting things. It jumps around a lot musically. Like, Paid is an interesting one in terms of, like, a deep house sort of distorted banger. It was Paperwork, which had this, like, crazy synthesizer, like, literally sounded like a Sega Genesis. And that one was cool. But to be honest with you, there really wasn't, like, that many super, like, there just weren't that many tracks on this thing that really spoke to me and, like, really resonated with me, or that I really remembered. I mean, I've said a few of them, but the lyrics aren't even that, like, egregious and out there. There's always the like, less so. They're too egregious, mind you, but they're not like, oh, nothing really sticks in my head here, except for maybe Carnival. And that's like the, shall we say, the off the grid of this record. Like I gotta stop saying like. A commenter on when I uploaded the video for the Saint Banger interview, when I interviewed the guy who made that Saint Anger remake. he said, watch your like counter, though. And, like, I don't even know, I don't even know. Like, I really, like, say like that much. Back to normal. I've locked in. Carnival's obviously the banger track where you get a bunch of popular figures, a bunch of notable rappers, and sort of make, like, a posse cut of just high energy thing. And to be honest with you, and it's trying to be like a song of the summer, but to be honest with you, this just isn't it compared to Off the Grid. I'm not saying that it's a bad one, but it just isn't there. I mean, there's not a verse on here like when 5Yo Foreign did Off the Grid where people actually sat up and was like, this guy is pretty cool. Like, that verse was insane. You don't have a drill beat switch. There isn't a beat switch. I'm not saying you need a beat switch. I mean, what? Do you really want everybody to just be trying to make, like, a sicko mode? How many years after that song came out? Like, no. But the features on here are actually fairly star-studded. I mean, let me think. I think Bump J is on here. Freddie Gibbs, Playboy Cardi, and Cardi's doing his new deep voice, which is really challenging for me to listen to. It's starting to grow on me, but it kind of just sounds like Future, but like Cardi. It's like he's doing a weird Future voice, but it's kind of getting there. I don't know. I'm starting to get used to it a bit more. Also, his daughter North is on here. His daughter on Talking, and the one music video for this album is with her in it, which is interesting. Was it Talking / Once Again? Is Once Again even on this thing? Is it even a thing on, like, is it renamed? Because I think Hooligans was what Carnival was originally going to be called. But yeah, I mean, musically it's interesting. There are some interesting ideas. It feels more industrial. It doesn't really have as much of, like, the gospel influence as, like, every single one of his records for the past however many years has. It's what we in the industry call a secular album. He's done rapping about the Lord. He is now rapping about expensive cars, making jokes about being, you know what, and sleeping with, like, young women, like, of age, not like that kind of stuff. But yeah, and I wrote this lyrically because it feels so much more vapid than anything he's put out in, like, ever. Because the reason why I'm saying that is that at least with something like Donda or Jesus is King or whatever, there's at least an inkling of something personal there, something witty. But now it just kind of feels like he's on, like, cruise control. Stop saying like. I gotta stop saying like. All right. I gotta stop saying that. What did I say? Here it is. Like, I just said I would stop saying like. Are you kidding me? But no, he's 40 years old on this thing, over 40, talking about, getting with women and pulled up in the Porsche and more of the egotistic stuff that has been the MO for this guy for how long, but not with any wit, not with anything interesting to say. And you could say something interesting, but you don't. He's 45 or whatever. I don't know how old he is. I don't care. Rapping about that and calling himself the new Jesus and comparing himself to other, like, people who have had allegations / convicted of doing horrible things in the media. What do you call himself? He said, I'm Ye Kelly now. Like, come on. He made an R. Kelly joke. What year are we living in? Like, those jokes, like, that stopped being funny once, like, the Boondocks did it. because no one else could do it better. Also, because we are at the halfway point of this show, the views and opinions expressed on this program do not necessarily reflect those of KUCI, its management, or the UC Board of Regents. Just to let you know, you're listening to Bass Tunes on KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm Ari, and if you want to check out me on Instagram, BASEDTUNESKUCI on Instagram. Thank you. Back to the program. I wrote this. It's Drake levels of midlife crisis, but if Drake was a recently divorced manic anti-Semite, which is strange. It's like a layer upon a layer upon a layer. Because the Drake comparison is the fact that for the past however many years of Drake making albums, he said nothing and has done nothing and has talked about getting with women and nice views and BBLs and nothing, and the dude's like 50 or something. We might be 60 at this point. He hasn't gotten married, which is fine. Not everybody has to. He has a son. And you think that at some point Drake is going to be like, okay, I need to leave and take a sabbatical. Take a sabbatical. You put out For All the Dogs, and it's just more sludge. Oh, you made a couple banger tracks that'll be at the top of the charts for like a week, and people put on their play say, "Oh, this bangs." What kind of shelf life does that have? None. Don't trace a trend. Or at the very least, if you want to do what's like hot in the modern age, you know what you can do? Live your life. I've had people who do shows at this station tell me they stopped because they needed to live more of their life. They needed experiences and they needed things to talk about. And this is a form of art. And that was like a 20-year-old or something. How much, I get it, you don't do that. It's a different thing because that's your career. But, art is a thing. And at least Vultures has some interesting production on it, and some interesting features maybe, but not really. I don't know. I don't get it. I just sincerely don't get it sometimes. I don't get it. They're so rapid. They're just, it turns my brain off. I'm just, you don't expect that. But hey, Burns got a pretty good verse. I'll say that. And it's like it is the shortest song on this album, clocking in at 1 minute and 51 seconds. And it has a college dropout era sample flip and pitch sped up, whatever. And it's good. And there's actually a good couple of bars on here. Who's that guy who's like, that's cold bars, Get Funkmaster Flex on here to premiere this album, and then it would be interesting. Off topic, have you guys ever seen DJ Funkmaster Flex premiere Otis on Hot 97? It was the craziest thing I have ever seen in my life. Obviously, I wasn't alive. No, I was alive then. I wasn't born yesterday. Come on, that was a 2011 song. But I don't live in New York. I didn't listen to that radio, Otis. I don't know. Anyways, this man literally took a 3 to 5 minute song and restarted it so much and played so many nuke sound effects and rapping about people going into stores and put your hand in the cash register. This is the hottest thing in the summer right now. Nobody could do it. If your album is coming out then, don't drop it. I want that energy. It's amazing. Listen, hey, if I ever premiere some new music on the library or whatever, you bet I'm getting that soundboard. I'm getting that Funkmaster Flex. Maybe not that. I'm going to rewind the song so many times. It's my goal to make a show where I don't play more than one song over a 2-hour block. You heard it here first, folks. This is Bass Tunes. We do music. Man, you gotta have a gimmick nowadays. You really do. You really gotta have a gimmick. Back to the album. Oh, Beg Forgiveness was good. it was interesting. You've gone too far, but then I cannot change. And if I go and do it, just make sure my kids are alright. Whatever. And then there's like a beg, forgiveness. You're like, what is going on here? And then Problematic is a nothing burger after that. And then King is just boring outro. Just a boring record. I don't know. Come up with more stuff to like. Donda was long and scattered, but it had interesting ideas. It was dealing with faith. It was dealing with divorce, getting older. I don't even remember. Just dealing with life, the life of the man. And that's the whole thing. His career has been so insular, and this is my life. I'm rapping about me, singing about me, making music. So focused on one individual and the way they perceive life. 808s and Heartbreak, that's a good example. We haven't seen something like that in a while, have we? I guess he kind of started the whole auto-tune thing, though, so. You can tap that and it makes a sound. That's pretty cool. You haven't really seen that in a while, right? So what am I to say? Who am I to say to really think that that's even worth mentioning? Oh, and ratings. I don't normally rate records, but if I had to rate Vultures 1, it'd be a 5 to 6 out of 10. It was boring. It wasn't horrible. There were some good ideas on here, but it's just music for me to turn my brain off to, and I want to actually feel more and have more in-depth music. In terms of my favorite songs, it would be Paid, maybe Paperwork, probably not. Burn. Back to Me has a pretty funny sample flip that I can't say. Vultures, the single, has that one line he's talking about, and he drops the beat for it. And apparently the listening party in New York, every, little kid, rich parents, rocking the entire fit, still being a massive fan and being like, oh, you guys are just hating. Beg forgiveness. So out of 16 songs, the ones that I really remember are like maybe 4 or 5, which is about what you expect, I guess, nowadays. But who knows? Oh, what is this? He put an acapella version out. Hooligans version? What? I don't even know anymore. I don't even know anymore. There is so much stuff here. Okay, what else do we got? What do we got here? I guess Fantano I'll touch on. It was pretty funny. Anthony Fantano, the needle drop, the internet's busiest music nerd, a pretty well-known and some decently respected online reviewer, probably the biggest online reviewer that's not like in an actual publication. He put a video out called Unreviewable 1 after doing a listening party, and people were saying that he just can't look at it emotionally. He just can't look at it good emotionally. Okay, it looks like I have to go for a second. Once again, you're listening to KCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. It looks like I gotta go get the door. So we're going to be back to the Vultures 1 review in a moment. So be right back. We're back on the air, baby. Bass Tunes still winning. We are the greatest show on this planet. And if you don't agree with me, you have an opinion. If anyone has any thoughts on Vultures 1, also call in. I'm doing more call-ins now because why not? You can call if you want to chat with me about this beautiful album that's very mediocre. But until then, I'll probably just talk about the Fantano stuff and maybe touch on some other things because, frankly, I don't even know. But, yeah, if you want to chat, I'm going to take calls now because I'm not super scripted right now. You can call 949-824-5824. That's our station line, 949-824-5824. And I will also mention that we do have a giveaway coming up. Still going on. Our Sear SSD Festival giveaway has closed, and we did announce a winner, so that's nice. But we also still have the Otoboke Beaver giveaway. It is ending in 3 days, so make sure. We actually got a call. That's crazy. That scared me. Call in. Give me a moment. All right, we got our caller. Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, you got a profound insight about Vultures?
Yeah, I have something to say about the Anthony Fantano review.
Sure. What do you think about it?
He had publicly, his name was smeared through the course of his messy divorce, right?
Uh,
Which,
not, I mean, sure. That was just, I mean, I forgot about that. Didn't somebody like just look up the public records because he said something about some album that some stupid, like, was it Ken Carson fan or something didn't like? Was that it? Or am I misremembering? Yeah, people were making fun of him because he got divorced from a lady that he's only shown on his YouTube like twice, and he's very private about his personal life, and he talked about it for like 5 minutes on a video because people kept pestering him about it. But yeah, he did that.
yeah, so he has the deranged fan base who sift through the public record.
Sure,
Similar
Sure.
to, I think he wasn't able to give this album its due because there's some implicit conflict of interest or bias. He can't separate himself. Maybe there's a little bit too much coincidence between him and Kanye this time. I agree the album was totally lacking, which is no surprise. I don't think he'll ever produce anything good ever again.
Yeah, maybe not.
I think as far as trusting Anthony Fantano anymore, I think him and Kanye are the same way. Anthony Fantano used to be an audacious and creative reviewer.
Sure.
I don't think he has his spark anymore. I think he's pretty washed.
You think so? I'll say this about Fantano. I do understand why he made that, because I think the whole crux of that video, the Unreviewable one, was the point that he doesn't think he can give this a good review. And I think, wasn't his reasoning something along the lines of, like, all the egregious stuff he said, and also the fact that his rabid fan base, that artist rabid fan base, will just come after him, and he's not going to really convince them, and he can't really make them understand his viewpoint. Like, oh, they can't understand that it sucks. Which, and then he actually does go on and touch into it. But I mean, that was a fine review. I'll say two things about it. One, I think he was very heated, and I thought maybe that clouded his judgment a bit. Maybe, I don't know. He just looked to me like he was like more upset than at any time. So keep that in mind. And I don't know. Number two, I feel like it'd be better if he just didn't touch on it. He has a whole series called "Why You Know Review" where he explains why he doesn't review albums. But at the same time, I mean, it's that guy. The man's big. What do you expect? People are gonna hound him. But I do think he might have been able to do in a more orderly thing. But I don't think that he was necessarily in the wrong for what he said and why. I mean, good on the morals. Good on actually kind of sticking by your morals, kind of. A lot of the other reviewers, I mean, do you know what Dead End Hip Hop is?
No, I do not.
Oh, Dead End Hip Hop is a YouTube like review channel, which is like a group of few people, and they've been making videos for a while, and they're pretty good. They just straight up said, and this is like back in like 2017, 2018, after the whole Red Hat, the other stuff with Kanye, is like, I'm just not going to review him anymore. That's it. Never talked about him. Never said a thing. So
that's why. Okay, you said the Fantano review was honest and morally right.
I wouldn't say morally right. I wouldn't say morally right per se, because not that I disagree. I understand where he's coming from in like his moral thing. I agree with him. I agree with him personally on the stuff they said was messed up. But I'm not saying like you are morally required to or not do this, I guess like do a review or whatever. I'm not saying that like, I don't think he was putting that on. I think he was explaining himself. But continue. Sorry.
If he really, if he really was who he claims to be,
sure.
Politically whatever, he may have been better suited to stick to reviewing music that falls within his parameters for something that is acceptable to review. But I think it's clear that he knows that it's not prudent for him to miss the opportunity to make the money off the review.
Yeah.
And he just ends up putting out something that's totally slop, in my opinion,
Huh.
a non-opinion. He's wasting people's time, and he's inserting himself into the middle of already something that's like so fraught and disastrous.
Huh.
I think it's just a disappointment on all sides. Like the whole Kanye story, he's manic in the media. He's politically, I mean, he's come out. He's a self-proclaimed. I don't know if I can say.
I know. It's okay. We know what you mean. We know what you mean.
And he has an unrequited love story. He's fighting over the custody of his child.
Yeah.
It's fertile grounds for somebody to make something good and something focused. But I think even with all of those potentially fruitful inputs, it shows how lacking of an artist and how uninspired he's become based on his inability to create something meaningful out of this story. So that's why I would totally take the under on Kanye West's career.
You're under.
I'm not sure.
He's out. GG's.
I think almost. I think also we're in the nadir of hip hop.
Sure.
I can't hardly listen to anything that comes out recently.
Oh, I mean, I haven't listened to that much new music in general. I don't know if you like him or not. I'm maybe not. Yeet put out an album like yesterday, and people are saying it's good and interesting production, but it's a different type of thing. I don't know. Are you a huge hip hop fan personally? I'm just curious.
I was when I was younger. I mean, because the Damn album comes out, and then you're introduced to Kendrick Lamar. He makes
Kendrick.
an album with Robert Glasper, Terrace Martin, all of these great producers, great musicians, right?
Sure.
And he brings them into the fold to make a very enduring. I'm talking about To Pimp the Butterfly, actually. I take that.
Yeah,
back.
I was like, I thought people didn't like that one as much as T-Pab, but go ahead.
Yeah. To Pimp the Butterfly, and the album that came out, not Section 80, the one in between. What was it called?
Was it Untitled?
Good Kid, Mad City.
Was it? Oh, it was Good Kid, Mad City. Yeah, sorry.
I mean, that's one of the most insane runs. But him too, his most recent album,
Mr. Morale.
Mr. Morale. I forget the name, but
Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers,
also,
I believe.
All of these big institutional names, they're just showing a total, they're aging out, and I think hip-hop is the same way.
I could see that. Would you say that hip-hop was your primary genre of music that you would listen to?
Nah, not exactly. Maybe indie rock or jazz or something like that.
Indie rock or jazz. Well, yeah. I'm just curious because, this is the first time I've had a proper call-in show, and I'm really enjoying this conversation, by the way. Thank you for calling in. If you ever want to call in again and about whatever I'm discussing, feel free to. I'll make a note of it when I usually say when I will. But, of course, this is really cool, man. This is really cool. I just have to say that. And
yeah, thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. I'll say that. Yeah. And are there any other good music any new music that you've heard recently that you have anything to say about? Anything interesting? At all?
I like this new I like this new band. They're kind of like Stereo Lab. They had the Flaming Swords album, which was now maybe 2 years ago. It's called Fievel of Gluck.
Fievel of Gluck?
Yeah.
I feel like I interviewed a guy who remixed an album, who remade an album that I love and hate. And I think he might have said that. So that name does sound familiar to me.
Yeah, give it a listen. They're cool.
How do you spell that?
Fievel, F maybe Ievel is.
Oh, Fievel is.
Oh,
Fievel is Glock. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
Yeah.
Flaming. Oh, yeah, I see this now. Okay, this might not be it. Naughty, jazzy stylings with light, seemingly. This seems interesting. I'm into heavier stuff generally, but I'm open to a lot of things. So I will definitely, I'll definitely go ahead and, what's the word? I'll listen to it. And if you if you want to chat with me, I'll let you know if you see I'll announce my Instagram. If you want to contact me on there, I'll chat with you about it. Let you know my thoughts, and maybe I'll review it if I find it, if I got something to say about it, a lot. But again, thank you so much for calling in again. Feel free to call anytime I'm on the air. I think that's about it because I think I have to. I'm nearing the end of my show time. But again, thank you for calling in. You had some pretty interesting insights about Fantano and Ye and I guess modern rap in general, in your opinion. So,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, thank you very much, man. You have a good rest of your day, all right?
You too. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Well, that was awesome. That was really, really awesome. I have to say that. I'm not being facetious here. That was the coolest thing that's probably happened in this show in a long time. So thank you, whoever that caller was. And the reason why I asked you if it's Zach or do you go to when I was screening the call is because I got a friend of mine, right? I got a family friend of mine who's kind of excited for this record. He got into like album reviews and things like that. And I figured he would have called in, but I guess not, maybe. But please do contact me on Instagram, on the Bass Tunes Instagram, BASEDTUNESKUCI, if you're willing to, because I love anytime I've had like 2 times maybe where someone who's listened to my show like reaches out to me. It's someone that I don't know personally, like a friend or a family member or something like that. And those are the coolest parts, because then it really feels like someone's actually listening and taking in what I'm saying. Thank you very much. Also, I do, and for you specifically, because I generally film this, I usually put it up somewhere. So I would appreciate if you contact me if it's okay for you to go ahead and do that. If it's okay for me to put that up, because if not, I'll probably just cut it out. Just be safe. But yeah, I don't know what else I can really chat about for today, but that was really cool. I was getting kind of sloppy with the review up until the end. But yeah, I mean, the whole Fantano thing, I mean, we already discussed it. So that's all fine and dandy. I guess that's about it for today's program. We should probably get started with the transition period over to Funny FM with, I mean, I don't know if she actually goes by her actual name on the air, but like, the host of Funny FM. It's going to be a very funny show, and you should stay tuned for that. Anybody who's listening. I think for the next week's review, I'm actually not certain of what, to be honest with you. I've been meaning to review Sepultura's Roots and maybe Boards of Canada's Music as the Right to Children, which is kind of like an oldie. Maybe Yeat's 2093, the new Yeat album I mentioned on the call. But yeah, anybody else who ever wants to call into this show, when I say it and I give you the number to call in and chat. That was awesome. That guy, I never got your name. Whoever did it, again, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you do want to check me out on Instagram, or if you heard the show and you want to say, hey, you're really cool, I really like you, you're the most handsome guy ever, or not, just say that you like the show, or just have some feedback, criticism, whatever, you can go ahead and go on Instagram. My Instagram for the show is BASEDTUNESKUCI. That's Bass Tunes KUCI on Instagram. Also follow the UCI Instagram, the KUCI Instagram, KUCI FM, because we have a giveaway, Otoboke Beaver, for the giving away 2 pairs of tickets. If you want to get involved in that giveaway, you can follow our Instagram at KUCI FM and tag a friend under the post announcing the giveaway. And you could also call in, but I don't have time for that, so don't call in unless somebody says so. Yeah. So again, Bass Tunes KUCI. On Instagram, the guy who called in, I appreciate it if you reached out, because I want to, say hi. And that's about it. Next week, 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock, same base time, same base channel. I'll let you know what the topic is. It might be a couple album reviews. It might be nothing in particular. It might be something that I don't even know, because that's how we go with this show. We go with the flow, and we make a good show. Stay based, everybody. I've been Ari. This has been Bass Tunes of KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. Stay based, everybody. And one more thing. All right, partner. Keep on rolling, baby. You know what time it is. It's Friday Friday! That was cool. I don't even know why I did that. All right, let's get some music going, and we'll have you on for Funny FM. Thank you very much.